Super Earth has been infiltrated, and I think not today, not tomorrow, something new is coming to Helldivers, and it's like a year out. And I got a little bit of proof for this, so let's talk about it. First off, we know that Helldivers was a huge, overwhelming success that they were not anticipating. The servers got overloaded, so many people have bought the game, people continue to play it, it's wonderful. I think as a part of that success, one of the things they did not anticipate is how many people wanted to be the bad guys, how many people wanted to be Traitor Guard, how many people wanted to PvP other Helldivers. And I think they want to incorporate this into the story, but I don't think they know how to do it yet, or rather they're not prepared to do it because they really didn't expect this many people to jump on board with wanting to kill one another. So I think they're establishing a story now, and we're going to see that payoff in a year or two. And here's kind of my evidence for that. There have been some stories of people who do not exist being in other people's games. You see the guy running around me in this game, how he's got a tag of P1 next to him. You can see I'm S2. Whenever you look at another Helldiver, you see their player tag, their designation, Papa 1, Alpha 2, Bravo 3, whatever it may be. I've experienced where there's sometimes Helldivers who don't have that designation. You see them on the battlefield, and then when you check your map, they're not there. They don't exist. When you extract, especially if you only have a squad of 2 or 3, sometimes you'll see 4 or 5 Helldivers get on the Pelican. Now, people have posted footage of this, and usually when people post footage of something that they're planning to do, the devs play along and act as the Ministry of Truth, right? They say, oh, that doesn't exist. The flying bugs don't exist. When stratagems got leaked, people are like, no, that doesn't exist. That doesn't happen. And they're kind of playing with the lore of the world like they're the Ministry of Truth, which is great. Wonderful storytelling. I applaud it. But that's not what's happening here. They're not even acknowledging it. They're not denying it. They're just deleting things and it's disappearing. People posted footage of bots with strange behavior that were fighting each other, the automatons, when they're obviously not programmed to fight each other. They're only supposed to fight Helldivers, which tells us there's a third unit that exists. There's another faction with at least the automatons that other automatons see as not friendly. So here's my theory. The Super Earth has been compromised. I think that there's some sort of mimic, some sort of skinwalker, some sort of gene stealer, some sort of being, creature, faction, something that can transform itself and mimic the Helldivers. And their goal is to get onto the Pelican, come back to your ship, and then get to Super Earth to do something. Further evidence, we see that there are Helldivers on planets that have already been liberated, which the game doesn't let you do. But if you look around at liberated planets, you can find hundreds of Helldivers on planets that have already been liberated. What are they doing there? Some people say that, well, they're just people who logged off there, the planet got liberated, but some of these planets haven't been liberated in quite a while. I think that's further evidence that these, again, gene stealers, mimics, whatever you want to call them, are infiltrating different planets. And when those planets get clawed back or invaded or things of that nature, it's because those units are there sowing discontent, setting up the broadcast towers, whatever it may be, to take that planet back. We also know that there's a lot of people who reference like Warhammer 40k. There's some parallels here we could talk about. Most importantly, the bugs in that game have the gene stealers that their whole thing is one of them mimics someone, comes back to them, and slowly overtakes the entire planet. I think with how many people want to be traitors, they want to incorporate that into the story. And so now they're starting to plant the seeds for compromised, for gene stealers, for mimics, for something that looks like a Helldiver, but isn't a Helldiver. And they're starting to slowly implement it into the game. However, because again, they were not expecting for this to be so popular, for this to come in like this, they're not ready to launch it anytime soon. So things like the flying bugs, the mechs, things that were already planned, they've been teasing and they play Ministry of Truth like, oh no, that doesn't exist because they know that it's launching soon. This isn't going to launch soon because they were unprepared for it, so they're just flat out not talking about it. Now, I don't want it to sound like this is all creepy pasta and I'm making up horror stories. I don't have any footage of any of this to show you because my shadow play has issues occasionally. That I'm not blaming on these gene stealers. I think, as you know, the game has had some technical issues and a lot of bugs. I think that's an NVIDIA graphics card shadow play issue. I don't think that's a part of it. However, it has made it very difficult to actually save footage of these other Helldivers in action because I know they exist. Again, I've seen them. I pull up the map and they're not there. So something is going on and I want to capture it. So if you've seen this, if you have footage of this, please, please, please share it because I know it's happening and the devs aren't acknowledging it at all, which tells me that they're not prepared for this. Some people say it might just be a bug, which again, there's been plenty of bugs in the game, so maybe we're just seeing other people's games. Somehow the servers are merging, it's causing issues. Maybe it's someone who joined and disconnected. I don't know. It seems like there's too many small things that are connecting. I truly think that they're going to play this as Super Earth has been compromised and we're bringing the enemy back with us. I also think that means as a community, we need to start rooting out these mimics, these fake Helldivers. We know of their existence. I'm not the only person to talk about them. So I'm curious what happens when you see a Helldiver that doesn't have the P1 tag, the S2 tag, whatever it may be. What happens if you shoot them? What happens if you shoot them and extract? We know that when you get into a Pelican, you still have the ability to shoot the people on the Pelican. That's not accidental. I think that they left that in because they want you to have the ability to root out traitors. And I think that that's going to happen in the next year. I think this is a big scale thing. So, if you have footage, please send it to me. I'd love to talk more about this. If you have an idea of something that we can do as a community to root out the traitors, to find these mimics, please share it in the comments down below. But remember, Super Earth's been compromised. You can't trust anyone, not even your fellow Helldivers.